What is going on, everyone? It is your boy A Woods, and I'm back with another episode of Production Thoughts. I have my homie here, thrifter, fashion god, everything. Introduce yourself, man. So it was good.
Ronald. Hello, I'm Ronald, otherwise known as Ron John Laurent,
Mhm.
otherwise known as Minneapolis Thrift, and otherwise known as SGT1. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. When you think of fashion, I don't know. When I think of fashion, I think of the Montclair, Gucci, all the high end brands, right? Supreme, everything like that. Um, but there's something that's up and coming right now, and it's thrifting, right? Can you talk about that, right?
Yeah, in fashion, there's a lot of subsections of fashion. Like you said, you got the Montclair, Gucci. That's the high fashion. You got your Supreme, your Bates, your Palaces. I would
Mm,
say that's more streetwear.
mm,
Vintage is its own category, and with vintage, you have to do a lot of thrifting. Basically, essentially, vintage is clothes older than 20 years old. That's an official term of what a vintage is. I would just say, honestly, like 15 years. Um, but it comes from going into thrift shops, perusing the racks, finding your shirts, finding your jeans, finding your sweatshirts, and what you'll notice with thrifting is most of the people who actually thrift and are do it are very passionate about thrifting.
right.
It kind of brings them back to a more of a nostalgia point of their life. It's a lot cheaper way. I would say it's the most you'll make your most profit off of thrifting
Mm-hmm.
for such just because simply you'll spend the least amount of money. We'll just say you can flip a Gucci shirt. We'll just say you can flip it from 400 to 600. Yeah, you're making 400, but you spent 400. You're only making 100% profit. For example, I have a perfect example right here. This is a Pablo hoodie that I thrifted at the thrift. I spent $4.80 on it. In my state, there is no tax, so it's actually $4.80, and I flipped it for $46. So you're saying, wow, that's $46. That's a decent amount, but that
Yeah.
guy made $800. But if we look actually at the profit margin, I flipped it and made over 700% on it
Mm-hmm.
compared to his 100%.
Right.
So with thrifting, something that's more, I say why it's getting more popular is it's a cheaper way to do it. It's an
Mm,
easier way, and personally, it's more fun. There's something about actually looking through the racks and finding which you like to wear as opposed to clicking online and then hoping you get through. And,
right.
yeah,
It also
it's
doesn't
just
appreciate too. That's another thing.
for example, you wear a pair of let's just say Dior Jordan ones. You get them. They are priced at like $10,000 now, brand new $10,000. If you spent the 2,000, that's great profit. That's 500%. You wear
Mhm.
those 5 times, that might cut in half to like 5,000. It might be higher if you keep them in good shape. But let's just say with vintage, like for example, this shirt I'm wearing right now
Mhm.
is a Ozfest shirt that I bought pretty low. I want to say I spent like $30 on the shirt. I paid resell, but it wasn't that much. Got this like last year, and with the influence that celebrities and I'm gonna say specifically musicians have, this can raise the shirt. Like for example, there was news that Smoke Perp was dating Noah Cyrus, and then the first picture that came out was them together, and he was wearing this exact shirt.
Oh man.
That I'm not sure if that really helped the value, but I mean, it didn't hurt the value for
I
sure.
mean, yeah, I know it does in a bunch of different. I remember when Kanye used to wear all these different stuff, and it would go up. Like,
Yeah, perfect example.
yeah,
Adidas. No one was wearing Ultra Boost before
mhm,
Kanye wore it. Probably no one even knew about Ultra Boost before him.
yeah,
So he had the influence to wear them, and look at them now. Everyone had a pair of Ultra Boosts at some point. I had a pair of Ultra Boost. You know, in their prime, they were shoes that were sitting on racks going on discounts. He boosted them to like $1,000 just by wearing them or just
hmm,
by looking nice in them.
right.
Same with vintage. Uh, I remember. I want to say it was at the PS5 event that Travis Scott had a Ozfest shirt.
Oh,
It
really?
wasn't this one, it was a different one. But yeah, that's definitely gonna boost it. not only Travis Scott, who's probably, I would say, the most influential person right now, but him at a PS5 event where all these people are going to see it, that's definitely going to boost the
Right.
value. If I look into the prices, I guarantee that shirt's in the hundreds now.
Skyrocket. Yeah.
But yeah, the market for this is very balanced because again, I can wear this shirt 6 times. I can still sell it for a higher price. It's not going to go down unless I cause major damage and it's unwearable. Even if I stab a hole right here, it's probably not going to cut the value. Maybe it'll cut $5 if that.
Mm-hmm.
But people look for that. People like the holes in it. It shows character.
Yeah.
It shows it's been worn. That worn look. That's another thing that's in a lot of worn look. You see workwear, see the beat up shirts. They have a lot of people are going to buy like older Jordan 1s from like 94 and 85 and they're beat
Yeah.
because it gives it character. Those probably, I'm not going to say they were going for nothing, but they were most likely not going for a lot before this. Now they're going for thousands for
Mm-hmm.
shoes that are worn, you consider beat and old. It just shows character. It's something you won't see and that's another thing that's about thrifting.
Rare.
You will not, these are things you won't see every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can get a Supreme shirt, but you'll see Supreme everywhere. This shirt, the chance of you seeing this more than 5 times we'll just say more than once in an average day is unlikely.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not that easy to find. You have to hunt it.
Right.
We'll just say there's, even through the years, shirts get destroyed, shirts get lost. But we'll just say even through the years, let's throw a number out, even though I don't think it's this, but we'll just say there's 200 of these shirts. There could be 100 of these shirts in someone's basement that they got at the show in 2001 that they forgot about. So it's not as easy as just finding it. Yeah, you can find it, but you're gonna have to pay, and that's why the market is the way it is. You're gonna have to pay if you want to find it because it's rare.
Okay, so how can someone get into thrifting, right? Like how can they like do it? You know what I mean? Like what are some things that they can do? Like going to thrift stores, or should they go to Urban Jungle, or should they go online? What do you think is the best right now?
Well, I would say there's 2 types of thrifters, and you have the ability to be both. You have the people who are going in for themselves and they want themselves to dress nice, and you have ones who want to make a profit, and then
Mm-hmm.
usually there's something in the middle. Most thrifters are somewhere in the middle. Couple of tips I would say is, one, if you want to actually become a thrifter and make money, just say you want to do it for yourself, find a passion for it. Get really into it. What I did is I used to watch YouTube videos. I had a YouTuber, his name was Paul Cantu. He would do it. He's been doing it for years. So I was like in 8th grade. And he had a passion for it. I guess the way I became into it is a few years ago, like 3 or 4, I was still in high school. My dad, I was a hype beast, as you could
Mm-hmm.
say. I had all the Supremes, I had all the Jordans,
New Testament.
and I really liked it. My dad said to me, he said, when you grow up and go into the real world, you're not going to be able to buy all this Supreme and Jordan. You're going to have to pay bills. I don't think you can sustain this, this lifestyle, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think you'll be able to switch out of it. So me personally, I took that as a personal challenge. I was like, oh, I can't. So I looked into ways of things I would like to find cheaper, and then boom, thrifting came in. I started to hit some thrifts, and throughout the time I started thrifting to now, I've just been gaining knowledge. I've been going through it consistently. I guess the best way is to practice and study and practice, kind of like a test. You got to study it and then you got to practice it. Those are the best ways to become a good thrifter, and find a passion for it. So
Mm-hmm.
there's 2 things to take. I say, 1, be passionate about it, and 2, study it. Those are the easiest ways to.
Right. We're gonna take a quick sponsored break. We'll be right back. And we're back. So we talked about how it doesn't depreciate. We talked about like studying it and understanding how to do how to like thrift and stuff like that. But what are some things that people can look for when thrifting? If you have a little collection, maybe you can show us and point out the different things people should and can be looking for when they thrift.
Most definitely. A lot of people say The most common terms would be look for the stitching and look
Mhm.
for the tags. A lot of people say when they go to the thrift, they look directly for the stitching. A lot of times they won't even look at the shirt. They go directly here, which I don't like. They're looking for single stitch. Actually,
I think that is single stitch.
this isn't single
What is
stitch.
it?
This is double stitch from 1991. It's kind of crazy. They were on good technology. No, this is double stitch actually, but they'll look for single stitch, which again is a terrible idea. Me personally, I look for tags. I There's a lot of ways you can study tag to know. Okay, if this has this tag,
Mhm.
99% of the time it's going to be vintage. Like for example, this tag is you can't really see because it has a splitter, but it's a Jersey tag and it's made in USA. Jersey is an older brand, especially on this tag. This is old. This is old. Even this being double stitch is kind of I'm surprised, but I can tell this is actually this vintage. Uh, Story about this though. My dad went to this. If you can't really see what's on it, this is a 91 World Series where the Twins won. I want to say they faced the Cardinals. I want to say it doesn't say, but he got the shirt when in Minneapolis. He was living in Minneapolis at the time. He just kept it and he passed it down to me. So this is something that again I like. Um, it
Mhm.
has the typical vintage holes in it. It's old. It's nothing I'll sell. I got a big
Right.
hole right here. It has stains on it, but it's fine.
Right.
It, it's something that's valuable even with that. But I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna keep it.
Getting
That was a gift to
things
me.
that you like, I think, yeah, it adds more meaning and value
So
to it for you. Like you said, you had anime stuff, right?
yeah, I do. I have a few. This is mid, I think 2003. This is a Helsing shirt. Interesting story about this. I actually paid resell for this shirt, and if you don't know what resell is, that's essentially when you don't pay the original price.
Hmm.
In thrift terms, it's when you don't pay, the thrift store price. So I paid up for it because I like the shirt and I wanted it in my collection, and I like that anime. And then a few months later, I actually went to a thrift and I found the exact same shirt, and it was this one. It's in a better size too. I had an XL. It fit, but it didn't fit how I wanted it to fit. This fits bigger, which is okay. And yeah, I got to sell it back, make some money off of it, and I still got to keep the shirt I originally wanted. So sometimes, in the thrift, it works like that. It's very rare, but sometimes, you find a shirt you like and you find it in the thrift.
Right. Huh.
Uh,
So
but
like, if someone's trying to sell it, right? So for say they go through, they find a piece. What kind of tags should they be looking for? You said Jersey tags, right?
Yep, jersey
Made in
tags.
USA.
Well, it could be different if let's just say you're outside of America, but
Mhm.
if you're in America, main USA tags. A lot of the tags I find personally are the jerseys. There's a black one. It's a black tag. It says Screen Stars, I think, on it.
Mhm.
Made USA. You have your AAA tags, which I actually have one somewhere in here. This is a newer piece. This is 2006. This is a Rob Zombie
Oh
piece.
wow.
It's Rob Zombie. You keep this, it's gonna go up. This is from 2006, but tag something along the lines of this. It might look a little different, but I'll have this three triangle A diamond piece. Um, and then there's also older brands that have their own tags that are valuable. Like
Mhm.
there's a brand, there's 3D emblems. Those are known for like crazy
Oh wow.
designs on the shirts. They were in the 90s. I actually just ordered a 3D emblem shirt online on Depop. I got a good deal on it. I paid like $30. But that's a good brand to find. My personal favorite vintage brand myself is Liquid Blue.
Look
I've
blue. I never
thrifted.
heard of
Liquid Blue has crazy designs on their shirts. They're very nice. They're very well made.
that.
Um,
Mhm.
I've thrifted one. Well, I've thrifted a couple Liquid Blues, but I thrifted one actually vintage Liquid Blue. It was my size too. It was a great day. Um, on my Instagram at Minneapolis Thrift. If you want to check it out, scroll down, it'll be there. But Yeah, personally, that's my favorite, but there's a lot. Made in USA is what to look for. Kind of the feel of the tag, like newer tags will have they're kind of like I
You?
want to say glossier.
Oh wow.
The older ones are more like papery. It's
Yeah.
hard to explain to the
Right.
listener,
No, I get
but
it. Um, and so what do you recommend that someone does if they want to like start selling it, right? Like, do you recommend they go to a store, they try and go on Instagram and find different local stores? They go online, sell it. What's probably the best way to do it right now?
right now in this current day, I would say the best way is to go online,
Mm-hmm.
especially due to COVID. It's the
Mm-hmm.
easiest way to have non-hand-to-hand combat. You get your money, set up a PayPal or set up a form of electronic uh, currency, and you can just sell it online and you ship it off. You get your money, you put it in your bank account. It's pretty simple.
Right.
Personally, me, I sell a lot to a local store. It's called Urban Jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've known that store for a while. I've been to the store. They had their original first location, so it's really no big deal. Not a big deal. I know the owner, but honestly, the best way to sell something like this, the best way to sell anything, get into some sort of group or get to know some people who have similar interests in you and just follow them. For example, let's just say I have a friend who likes shoes and I sell shoes. Well, that's perfect match. I can sell him some shoes sometimes and you're gonna get your money. That's probably my favorite way. I like keeping it with people I know, but it doesn't work out all the time. I like selling in person because a good thing about that is you don't have to pay shipping fees and you get your money that day and you're done. You don't have to deal with it. It honestly depends what's best for you. I would say the best way now though is to sell online. You got sites like Grailed, you got sites like Depop. You have now I think Instagram actually you can sell things on Instagram now, which is kind of cool. And yeah, I would say online. Online is probably the best place now, especially if you're just starting off.
Um, that's a good answer because yeah, especially with COVID and all that. Um, but what do you do when you have stuff that you're like, all right, I can't sell this, right? You had it posted for a long time. I can't sell it. You said Plato's Closet is one of the best ways to do it.
Yeah, personally for me,
Mhm.
honestly, it all depends on what it depends on what the piece is. If you know there's something with value, I wouldn't just directly take it. I would keep it,
Right.
hold it. Like an example, like I said before, I had this posted for almost 4 months, and I could have taken it to Plato's Closet or done whatever to it. But I
But they
was like,
wouldn't
you know
give you
what,
as much for it, right?
yeah, they'll give you less, but you'll still get some money out of it.
What about creating your own price? How do you do that? What do you think? Like that?
Um, a lot of the times it's hard to value some of these things due to its rarity.
Yeah.
I try to look around online and see kind of what the market is for some pieces and then
Mm-hmm.
go estimate off of that. Um, yeah, but sometimes it get a little difficult because, it's just the rarity of it. The It can be up in the air. Like, for example, there's an Aladdin tee that was all over print. It was vintage. It was beautiful, honestly. And it
Mm-hmm.
sold for 6K.
Sheesh. 6K?
sixty
Bro.
thousand dollars for a T-shirt, and it wasn't like it was on an Instagram live auction. People were like, "Is this actually real? They're actually gonna pay 6K for it?" And the guy who bought it, they did confirm it that he did pay the money. So honestly, it's all over the place. My best advice, like I said, is to look online, see if you
Mm-hmm.
can find the shirt somewhere else, and see what they're valuing it at, and then see if you can find them if they've sold or not, and then kind of make your own price. And we'll
Yeah.
just say you value something a little too high. You can always drop the price. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Um, and just to wrap this up, what do you recommend for anyone that is getting in this like industry of or wants to get in the industry of like thrifting? Yeah.
Uh, Again, definitely have a passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, studying and practicing and learning about vintage is the best way to go about it. You'll get your best results. Personally, for me, I started. I I bought a lot of things that didn't sell that I didn't know the actual value of, but it was cheap. So I was like, okay, I'll buy it. I'll take the chance on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and, if I sell, okay, it's only $4 or $5 there, but
Yeah.
that $4 and $5 adds up very quickly.
Yeah.
So once you get the hang of it, once you get into a rhythm of knowing, okay, I know what this is, I know what that is, figuring out, it'll kind of come second nature to you. You'll
Right.
just kind of get a hang of it. But definitely study, definitely have a passion for it. And if you want to sell it wherever you're selling, find a find a group or a store
I'm
or a
sure there's a lot of
subsection.
Facebook groups and stuff like that online that, wasn't there like vintage awards? That was there
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I Vintage Awards is kind of, if you don't know it, online is where they post kind of the best thrift finds
Yeah.
throughout, honestly, the world. And recently, I was actually on Vintage Wars. I made it. I found an Alien shirt. I found a Jurassic World
Hmm.
shirt. It was very nice. And I found an Into the Woods shirt. Uh, all very hard to find.
Yeah.
Sadly, they were not my size. I would have kept the Jurassic World one, and
Of
I would have
course.
kept the other one, but I sold them. And you know, when I posted that, they basically all I did was tag them, and then they posted
Hmm.
it, and then I just gained followers. That's kind of how you do it.
Right.
Find it, they're like, oh, I like that. Let's see what else he has, and then you go on from there. And now you have a little market to sell to.
Right.
So finding, yeah, I gotta say finding some influence within your thrifting subculture, and trying to get some exposure out there so someone
Hmm.
can see it, because it can get a little hard to put yourself out there. Sometimes it's hard to understand, okay, I have all these things, why can't I get followers, what am I doing wrong? But
Yeah.
I would say just find the whatever subsection you're going for. I would personally say vintage awards, and
Hmm.
then of course there's other people, and then follow the people there, look into other thrifters, see what they have. Like, I bet now if I look onto my Instagram Explorer page, all it is people's thrifted posts, because that's what I like to see.
Right.
So, yeah, it's all about finding that subsection,
Yeah.
and a big thing is having patience too,
Hmm.
because it's not just going to call them all in one day. You have to it'll
Yeah.
slowly build up.
Right. Most definitely agree. I feel that. And then not even just to mention, you also, I don't, do you have your business degree yet? Or I know you're working on it, but
I
you one?
have completed all the classes I need for my
Mm-hmm.
associate's degree, and I also get an entrepreneurship certificate. I'm going for school
Right.
for business. Right now, I'm at Concordia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for my bachelor's in business administration. After that, I'll be going to get my master's in business administration. But
Yeah.
yeah, right now
Mm-hmm.
I had to take one class at Concordia that'll transfer over, which I completed. I got an A in. I'll be graduating. I have to go through a graduation process. I'm actually not sure exactly when I'm graduating, but there's actually no more classes I have to do for that. So I'll just be taking classes for the bachelor's. But yeah,
Well, that's pretty lit. I thank you for coming on here, giving knowledge about an up and coming industry that isn't really like looked or talked about too much, I guess. So yeah, appreciate it, man.
thank you.
Is there any last
Yeah,
words
thank
you
you
want
for
to
having me.
say? Like
Thank
promote your page or whatever, whatever. What do you want to say, man?
and thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to talk about. If you want, follow me on Instagram, Minneapolis Thrift.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I start posting more consistently, but we'll cross that road when it happens.
Right.
And yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Perfect. Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
No